Alabama.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
I'm doing well. I'm a theist here in Alabama, and
Okay.
I would like to first off thank you guys for this whole show. I know you don't get a lot of thanks from a lot of people, or a lot of theists at least. But I would like to thank you guys to push people to more and be more logical
Well,
thinking.
thank you, Corey. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. I would like to discuss, I know you've heard this 100 times before, I'm sure, but the Kalam Cosmological argument.
Okay.
Okay.
Being obviously premise one, whatever begins to exist has a cause. Premise two, the universe began to exist, and then the conclusion logically follows, therefore the universe has a cause.
Okay.
Okay.
What specifically do you mean by universe?
The universe, like all matter, space, and time.
Okay. All matter, space, and time. So not just the physical universe that we know began to exist with the Big Bang, but like any potential metaverses or anything else that might exist as
Your soul stuff as well.
Right. How do you
Yeah.
know that began to exist?
Because with the reality of time, there can't be an actual infinite that can actually exist.
Why not?
Being that time is a series of events, one after the other, you would never be able to get to now. If there was an infinite past, you would have to transgress
that's
an infinite
kind of
amount
a
of time to get
weird
now.
misconception about how math works that a lot of people make. But
I don't know.
Anyway.
I feel like I'm convinced now that Shiva exists. This is
That
the
what?
best. Shiva exists? I
Shiva?
feel like, yeah.
yeah,
This
the
is
Hindu
a-
god, is that the one with the arms or the
Yeah.
one with the elephant head?
Yeah, I mean, that's who created the universe, right?
I'm not sure. Not with that one, at least. But that would prove that. Well, actually, that would prove anything. Shiva wouldn't be able to exist. You know, she's a physical god, and having physical attributes means that you're.
All right.
bound
So
to
let's
space and time.
let's say that we go with this argument, and ultimately we decide that what it proves is that there was something that didn't begin to exist, right?
Okay.
I mean, that's what you're getting at, right?
Somewhat. It would have to be a transcendent being.
No, wait. Who said being?
Oh, well, inanimate objects can't create something
Why not?
because they have no will to do so.
You don't need
My
will.
toaster makes toast.
Are you saying your sister's inanimate?
My,
Like an abstract object?
yeah, the toaster
can-
makes toast.
A toaster?
Out of
Yeah,
wood.
I mean, when
Have
you
to-
say
we have to-
inanimate
it has to have
objects,
the will of us.
when you say inanimate
Make it.
objects can't make things, you're kind of begging the question because you're assuming that there are no natural processes by which things come into existence without a God, when what you're trying to do is prove God. So, I mean,
But things can come into existence through natural processes that were set into motion via
Via
what I
Shiva.
would say is God.
or via a toaster, a cosmic toaster.
Yeah, toaster.
A cosmic toaster.
How do you know?
Toaster,
How do you
a
know it
toaster
wasn't?
would also have to be physical, being that it's a toaster. Therefore, it would have to be under the
No,
constraints
it's a
of matter and time,
transcendent
which would-
toaster.
What?
It's a transcendent toaster.
Transcendent
Transcends
toaster.
time and space.
Right, doesn't have a personality, but it's a toaster hovering in nowhere in no time, and through it all things come to exist with no intent.
With no intent. How could it have no intent yet come to exist or bring into
How
existence?
could
Same
something
way a
with
regular toaster has no intent.
how
The
could
toaster
something
was
with
made, though,
intent
by
have
something that has an intent to do something.
how
Like it was
could
made by
your
a
guy
person
okay
to make
so
toast.
so your idea is that it's just like the toaster except that it has this will somehow,
It's like the brave little toaster.
right?
Yeah, close to it. I would say that it can't be really defined as a toaster, being that toaster as we know it has physical properties. So, I mean, if you want to use toaster
Not
instead
this
of the word
toaster.
God,
I mean,
This toaster has no physical properties.
well, then it wouldn't be a toaster, would it? We define toaster as something that has physical properties.
all right, but it wouldn't necessarily
not
be a
this
god
one.
either.
Not this one.
Why not?
Because that's how else could the universe have been created? If
Except by the
except by
transcendent
this thing.
toaster with no physical properties.
that transcends time and space.
Well, that's not me. That's what I think, that the transcendent being is the thing that did create the universe.
Okay, I know you think that, but you have to actually demonstrate it in order to convince other people. And the Kalam cosmological argument doesn't really do it. I mean, at best, the Kalam cosmological argument attempts to convince people that there must be a thing without a God, and then you jump to this assumption about it being a being, which there's not really any support for that.
Well, the only
Even
two
assuming we
possibilities
grant that
for it to
premise.
do that, the only two possibilities that could have created the uncaused first cause, or whatever you would want to call it,
Transcendent
would
toaster.
be an unembodied mind or an abstract object.
If I had a soul that could travel back in time, could I be the one that created the universe?
No, because you'd have to
Why not?
come out of time to create the universe, because the universe is
Well,
dependent
if I had a soul that could transcend time, then could I be the creator of the universe
Retroactively? you could-
retroactively?
retroactively, you'd have to have immense power. You'd have to
My soul has
have
that.
the will to create the universe.
Okay, yeah, it would have that.
And let's see, what else would you have to have? You have to be non-physical, because then
My soul is not physical, so that's cool.
okay. Soul is not physical. Like, that would seem to be describing what the cosmological argument has to prove.
This guy just proved that I'm the creator of the universe. This is the best
well,
presentation of the cosmological argument I
I
have
don't
ever
see how
seen.
that proves that you're the creator of the universe.
Well,
So
I
are
mean,
physical.
I mean that's the problem here. I mean, really, what the Kalam cosmological argument defines is a vague set of properties without actually identifying anything. Any leap to, well, it's got a personality, or it's a thing that we could call a god, is just conjecture. Even if the other things about the Kalam cosmological argument work.
Yeah. It's just as likely that I did it as some other thing, any other thing you could name.
Do you have the immense amount of power that would create the universe?
My soul does. My physical body doesn't, but that's because it's a physical body, but my soul does. So,
I'm not sure that follows.
well, I believe I know how much power my soul has.
Interesting. Well, I'm not sure that this is going to further.
Well,
Well, that's
why
kind of
don't
what we
call it-
say, that we're not
call
sure
again?
about,
Yeah,
about
I mean,
that
we don't
kind of stuff.
we don't say absolutely that we know how the universe got started. We just don't find
That
a god
terribly
a
convincing.
particularly convincing possibility.
What would you find as a particularly convincing possibility?
If I knew that, I'd have a Nobel Prize.
So it seems that there's faith on both sides of this argument.
No, because faith involves feeling certainty about something that you have no reason to know about. And I just said, we don't know.
I mean, I don't think so. You seem to know that there isn't something, and there's the faith in that
Well,
you don't.
we don't. It's just that the issue is about burden of proof. I mean, if you tell me that you know that the Loch Ness Monster is real, then the onus would be on you to provide the right evidence that the Loch Ness Monster is real.
I mean, why did you hesitate to believe that I'm the one who created the universe?
Because you are not all powerful.
But
do
I
you
just
know?
told you I was. My soul is. I mean, I feel like what you're doing, in your mind, you're saying to yourself, that is ridiculous and silly, and I don't have a good reason to say why that's ridiculous and silly, but it's just kind of common sense, and I don't really know where to go with that ridiculous thing that you're saying. And that's kind of how we view the God thing.
Right. I mean,
You
not
think
with,
of God as just the soul?
No, we think of God as just something you make up to answer something that you don't know the real answer to. Doesn't mean it couldn't be true. It just means something you make up isn't that convincing a possibility.
And canon-wise, I think God's the ultimate soul.
By saying that it's something that we make up, that you're trying to put it as something that can't be true.
Well, do you have direct evidence of this God?
Do you need direct evidence to believe stuff?
Generally, yeah. I mean, you know, if you did tell me this Loch Ness Monster thing, my default position would be not to believe you.
And you could make up something that's true. Like, I can make up that there is a guy downtown right now wearing a red shirt. And, I don't know, that could be true. But,
Probably is true.
but I'm not going to believe it until we get the evidence.
And what kind of evidence would suffice?
What kind of evidence? I'm sure that an all-powerful creature would know exactly what kind of evidence.
I mean, well, and I mean, in the case of the guy with the red shirt, it's pretty, you know, weak claim. So, I mean, just a picture of him on Facebook with the tag would actually be good enough for me at that point. But for something that says there exists a being outside of time who is all-powerful and can do any kind of magic trick and creates universes and doesn't like gay marriage, that
would require
a pretty high
very
bar.
big magic trick.
Right.
It doesn't seem like it's that big of a jump or a leap.
Well,
I think that something, if there was something like God, that would be transcendent, all-powerful, all-knowing, and stuff like that.
Well, you just said if there was something like God,
that.
then it would be like God, which is...
And yet it's too much of a leap for you to believe that I have a soul that's that powerful. I feel insulted.
There. I can't hold her back.
I wouldn't want to insult you.
She's really angry now. You're welcome to call in another week. I think we got 15 minutes left, and we're going to move on to another caller. But thanks for the discussion, Corey.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.